All right.
All right.
Do this.
Do this.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We're gonna do
some more work here on my project. I just went on play mode.
Entirely sure
why I did that.
Let's go back in
Let's
here.
go back in here.
Made a little bit of progress
since last week's stream.
Show not much.
It's kind of visual.
Mostly what I've done here
is I've added in these solar panels. We got some solar panels. They still rotate in random directions.
They're not
facing the sun as
should be,
or at least like
facing
a direction.
But
I
think they look
pretty good.
We've
got the cubes. Looks like we've got a little bit of issue with the order of the cubes that are getting filled in there.
Cubes are looking good. I think those solar panels definitely look better than the placeholders. So things are definitely coming along. I feel like in the last stream, definitely we added these colored cubes. We've got the blinking lights on some of the buildings. We need to add them to some of the other buildings. It's starting to feel like it's starting to feel and look like a game, which is fantastic. I have got double audio coming through, don't I? Let's fix that. There we go. Hopefully that audio clears up there. Yeah, right. Thanks. I don't know what. Well, actually, I bet you I do know what happened. I was playing around with a new profile on OBS and did not process that I was on a different profile, but I was on my old scene collection and deleted all my scenes, and so I had to rebuild the scenes. It looks like I just got my audio a little messed up there. It was pulling in audio from the camera as well as from the mic. So yeah, hopefully that'll clear all that up. Recorded a video earlier today. Hopefully that wasn't an issue there either. But anyways, yeah, we're definitely starting to look and feel like a game. I'm pretty happy with it. There's definitely some bugs, and there's a lot of little fiddly bits that need to get done, but I'm not sure they need to get done on stream. We need to do things like adjusting the costs of things and how long it takes to produce resources and all that kind of thing. And that's going to take a lot of tweaking, but it's not that hard. That's just going to take a lot of repetition. It'll make for great streaming. At some point, once that gets kind of roughed in, definitely going to try to get a build of this out to folks. Well, I haven't decided if I'm going to go out to patrons and channel members. That for sure it'll go to those folks. Or if we make it more open and let everybody kind of test it. So anyways, there's all kinds of little settings that need to get done for things to work or be a fun playable game. Eduardo, hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. There's all that kind of stuff that needs to get done, but I do want to focus on things that are a little bit more interesting, a little less tedious. And so I think top of my list right now to get this piece here functional is going back and revisiting the tech tree and getting that UI functional. I think the system for it is good, but some of the UI controls are not so great. So let's go over here, and it's this lovely button here with this little research vial or chemical vial on it. Click on that. We come into our tech tree, which is of course Hexagon. This is all, for some folks that may not have seen this, this is all quote unquote procedural, meaning every game that you play, this tech tree is going to look differently. And actually, now that I'm saying that, it's probably not grabbing the seed from the world generation, which we need to do. It's grabbing some other, maybe just making up its own seed. So we definitely need to fix that. And the way this works, the idea here is there's going to be certain things that are unlocked. And I think the visuals definitely can tweak those a little bit. So these hexagons that are blue are right now are upgrades or technologies that we have access to. That's why they're blue. And so the way it works is the neighboring hexagons are the ones that we can purchase next. So that is why they are not grayed out like this one. And I need to work on the visuals and make it a little bit more clear. I don't think it's super clear about that, but that's the idea. And then we've got these colors here. And so what that is right now is kind of pulling this idea of like colored rarity, so to speak. And so I think I have 3, 4, 5 different tiers of upgrades, and they'll kind of spread out away from the initial upgrades that are already unlocked. So for example, like these white ones are tier 0, so they can kind of go anywhere. The green ones are tier 1. They can only be placed. So when they are placed, they can only be placed next to other tier 1s or tier 0. Same with tier 2. Tier 2 can only be placed next to tier 1 or other tier 2s. And so the idea is there to hopefully kind of get this branching tree to go out. And all that's working. The visuals. Hey, Adam, thanks for joining. The visuals can use some tweaking. I don't think they're bad, but they're not good. But what I want to get this a little bit more functional. So you can see if I hover over things, we get it's almost, you can kind of see it. Let me shrink my camera. There we go. Just above my camera image there, you can see that there's a description that comes in, which is coming in somewhat procedurally. There's a little bit of code that takes the data and builds that description. And I like that. It looks okay. But what really, really needs work right now is the zooming. So we can kind of pan around this thing, but if I zoom, it does that. It like, boop, zooms it out. If I zoom it the other way, I don't think you can see it. It's really tiny. It's right there. So that's number one to get that fixed. I think it might also be nice to have a little mini map up here, kind of showing where you are, what you can see. That might be more than I want to bite off. But I definitely want to get this zoom working. Hey, Lance. Thanks for joining again. It's awesome to see you guys come back week after week. Super encouraging. All right. So that's really what I want to do is I want to get this tech tree up and I wanted to get it more functional. And even little things like when you hover over the button, it turns white is just annoying and silly. So I want to make this a little bit prettier and get the zoom working. I also think maybe these resources here, like I've got all these resources on top. They don't really need to be there. The cost for everything is this research resource, which is just this 5th or 6th one here, and we could show that. I don't think we need that whole thing. So get some refinement working here. All right. The other thing I was looking at, oops. I think I turned the enemy's damage down to 0 just for testing. So they can't actually do any damage. Either that or the building doesn't have any hit points, which is, yeah, no hit points. Can't actually be destroyed because there's no hit points. That's funny. The other thing I want to work on here after we do that is, so I've got 2 main types of upgrades. I've got a upgrade that, I've got an upgrade that like boosts the stats of a unit. I've got a unit that, or I've got an upgrade that unlocks a unit, unlocks a building. Right now, up here, I've got this Odin editor window that lets me do just really quick creation of the upgrades, which are scriptable objects. And so this is for the stats upgrade. This just boosts the stats of a unit. I've even got kind of a name generator, which saves me a little bit of time if the upgrade's pretty generic. And what I'd like to do is create a similar window to this for the unlock, the building unlock. Those are kind of the two big things I want to do connected to this tech tree. So let's do that. Let's take a look here at our tech tree. The first thing here, again, we're using Nova here. It's turned off to start with. There's nothing really to look at because the data hasn't generated. And then the tech tree itself just has a few components on here. Some of these are Nova specific, or I guess a lot of them are. Not too big of a deal there. But our tech tree, this is what's doing all of the... Oh, that's funny. This is what's generating the tree itself. And so I've got the kind of these colors. These are those kind of those tiers. And then I've got the upgrade list itself here. These are all scriptable objects. And I think it goes and gets, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it goes and gets the scriptable objects when it runs to make sure that they're up to date. But the zoom issue is here, this zoom with scroll. So this is the culprit here. This is what's doing that really ugly scrolling. So pretty simple what's going on here. We grab the UI block and then we're right now, I think I might want to revisit this. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just moving that the UI block on the Z-axis. So I'm moving it closer and farther away from the camera, which Nova is all screen space. So that works fine. I think probably a better way to do that is some sort of zooming, some sort of scaling, but sometimes Nova can be a little weird about scaling. So we're going to stick with this now, and maybe we can put some limits on it. So what I was going to do first is just put, right now the scroll speed is too fast. So every time I click the scroll wheel, the mouse delta gives me either -1 or 1, which means I'm moving this UI block by a full meter, which is a lot of space for UI. So I don't need to put private as an attribute. Serialized field. Private float. We're going to call this zoom rate. And this is going to be pretty, we're going to start off pretty, I think pretty slow. Because right now, effectively, our zoom rate is 1. And because I like sliders, we're going to put a slider in there. I don't think we're going to need to go any slower than that. And then we're going to multiply this by our zoom rate. All right, let's see if that, I think we're gonna need to come back in here and put some limits on it so that the Z position can only get so big and so small. Otherwise, we're always gonna have some issues. Why is, okay, let's look at, we may have some other issues here. So our tech tree, let's see if that works. Open that up. Okay, so what's happening is right there, that's as big as we can get, which is totally fine. We don't need to get any bigger, but our, whoa. That just went to, I don't know if you guys can see that, the position of that thing just went to 5,600. Which is crazy. Hmm. We must be, I wonder if, okay, let's take a look at this here. So we are, hey, if you're watching this Steam integration videos, I'm glad those are helpful. I gotta admit, those videos I made a while back on Face Punch Steamworks, I made half of that. Half the videos were just for my own reference down the road. I'm glad they're useful for you. Why, oh why is that happening? Okay, let's, yeah, that the whole getting stuff up on Steam is, it can be tricky. There's, the documentation isn't awesome. The documentation from Steam, from Valve is fine, but it's all in C#. It's hard to translate over into the Unity space sometimes. So yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to use all those bits. So I'm glad they're useful. I'm not quite ready to integrate Steamworks into this project yet, but maybe at some point. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, so there's our Z value. It's just, oh, do we have a, oh, we must have a weird scaling issue. I bet you that's, oh yeah. Okay, so our scale is so tiny there. All right, so let's try, what if we try really low? There we go. Okay, if we go really low, then we get, okay. I was just trying to figure out if it was like my code, because I knew it was in an update, if it was getting called all the time. I didn't want that to happen. Okay, we definitely don't need to get that big. I'm just, so what I'm doing is I'm looking up here at numbers, what's a reasonable, like, I don't think I need to get any bigger than that. That's negative 219. That's close. And then small, that feels pretty reasonable. That is, we'll call that 1500. Okay. Okay, that is great. And our scroll rate is 0.001. Which is funny, that is the minimum I set it at. So let's do, we'll do like that. Okay, so what I want to do here is make this maybe a little bit smarter here. So if mouse scroll delta equals 0, we're going to return. Oh, that, let's see, what do we want? We want the Y value. Okay. Basically, so the mouse scroll returns 1, 0, and -1. If it's 0, we just don't need to do anything else. We can be done with it. So let's get rid of that. And then what we want to do, so here we want to say, okay, if position Z is less than, let's make these values up here. So we'll do private float, okay, min distance, and this is going to be -220. And we're going to have max distance. And this is going to be 1500. Okay, so if the Z position is less than min distance, then what we want to do is set Z position to min distance. Else, if position Z is greater than max distance, position Z is equal to max max distance. That should lock us. That should like prevent us from going outside of our range. Let's see here. I think that'll work. And so what sometimes you can get yourself stuck. Like you can get on a limit and then you're stuck on that limit. But what we're doing here is we're setting this position vector first and then checking it before we actually set the position, which is down here. Often when I've gotten stuck before, it's when I'm setting the position and then checking it. We'll see. All right, tech tree. Well, that didn't work. Did I forget to save it? Nope. Why isn't that working? What did I not do right? What did I not do right? Oh, let's grab local position. There we go. That's what it was. I think. We'll see. Okay. Well, that didn't work very well. Try, okay, because we're trying to set world position. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, do we have try set local position? Folks have questions, I'm happy to answer those. Happy to answer questions on the project, what I'm doing. If you just join in, if you got questions on videos or your own projects, always happy to answer those as well. All right, let's see here. Well, oh, funny, because now I've switched. Oh my gosh. So now I've switched it to that local position. My scrolling works, but it's, oh, and the locking works. Okay. And if you can see that I locked in at negative 220. Okay. And we didn't get stuck there. So that's good. But my scroll rate is ridiculous. Oh, that's funny. Because now we're dealing with local position instead of world space. Okay. That's still pretty slow. And it still feels slow. Well, the funny part is to get it smaller and smaller, you really have to zoom. It still feels slow. Let's keep doubling. Oop, double. I don't know. That might still be slow. Let's go 50% bigger. I kind of want it as fast as can be, but with it still controlled. I mean, that still doesn't feel overly fast. I mean, I think, oh, it won't let me punch in more values. All right. Well, that's funny. All right, we're going to reset those values a little bit. I don't like the jerkiness of it. I might, see if we can set up a little bit of a lerp there. Make it a little smoother. All right. Okay. Let's try that up at 2. I mean, that speed doesn't feel bad. Might be still a little too fast. 1 felt a little slow. There we go. I think that feels pretty good. Okay, so 1.5. I think 1.5 feels pretty good. We're going to stick with that. Now let's think about how we can do how we can lerp that, make that smooth, make that feel a little bit better, because it feels twitchy. I've got a little indentations or whatever you call them on my scroll wheel, and it almost feels like I can feel that in visually. Which isn't horrible, but I don't, it's not the best. Let's see, Lance, what do you got to say here? I don't recall the code, but I remember seeing a sort of proportional zooming function at one point. So the zoom step was bigger when zoomed out versus close in. Yeah. Back in my head, I was kind of thinking the same thing, right? Because as I push that out, I got to push it farther and farther. Yep. I got to do more and more clicks on my scroll wheel to get it to change the same amount. I mean, really, it'd be nice to set the scaling of this object, which I think would be more linear. We could try that. I mean, that was my other thought. The thing is that sometimes Nova stuff doesn't really like to scale. Sometimes it plays a little weird with scaling issues. It works fine scaling in the editor, but I find sometimes playing with scale at runtime, it can be, there's just some idiosyncrasies there. Yeah. Smooth damp. Yeah, I've seen, it's bringing back memories of some sort. I remember some video, like a smooth damping instead of lerping. I remember not like really being able to see tell the difference all that much. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but whatever. I remember something like that. Okay, so let's think here. Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, I don't know if supporting gamepads on this. I am using the new input system, so adding gamepads isn't all that tough. I think this could be a tough game to play with a gamepad. I think it would take quite a bit of it would take some rework to make it feel good, but it's a good thought. It's a good thought. All right, I'm just trying to think about how I can put a lerp in here without like. So I guess what I can do here, we can create we're going to have a target position here. Okay, target position. And we're going to do target position is going to equal this Nova block. We're just going to initialize it at the, all right, so we're just going to grab the position like that. And then we're going to say, well, let's do, we're going to create a little function here, distance from target. So what I'm going to do is, what I'm thinking about is that we can, if the current position is a long ways away from the target, we want to lerp it. If it's reasonably close, we can just leave it where it is. And so what I want to do here is get a check on how far away we are. So we'll do target position. Yep, but we can do square magnitude. We'll do distance from target. Distance from target is greater than, this is going to be a square value. So for like 1/10 of a unit away, I think that's going to be okay. Then what we're going to do, so if it's a long ways away, what we're going to do is, we'll clean this up here in a bit. New location is going to be vector3 lerp. We're going to go from, so Nova block transform local position to target position. And we're going to do that with time delta time. And we're going to multiply that by lerp speed. Let's go create our lerp speed. Okay. Lerp speed. So we're going to lerp. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take this out of there. Put, cutting too many times. That, and we're going to do new location. Call this new position. I've been trying in some of my more recent code, because I have hex coordinates and Cartesian vector3 coordinates, to call the vector3 quantities position and the hexagon one's location, just to try to separate it a little bit. And actually this, this needs to be target position here. We're going to go like that. So we're getting it up here, we're initializing here, and then we're just adding and subtracting from it down here. Let's see if that works. Yeah, Lance, that's interesting. You say for proportional zoom, a float called zoom value and another zoom sensitivity, just the local Z. Yeah, I think it might just be, I don't know. I might just need to do a little bit of math and think about how much farther you need to push it out to keep the, I don't know. Because I'm not sure exactly what's changing there. It's actually like your perception of how big it is actually the angle that it, whatever the angle that it is And you want to keep the change in that angle constant. Oh, that lerp is slow. Let's make that lerp 10 times faster. That is still slow. Okay. Oh, it's because we're stuck at 5. Okay. Let's make our downside with my liking sliders is I have a tendency of making the slider too small. So let's go up to 50. And let's see how that feels. Let's see, Lance, you got one more. You see zoom value equals zoom value plus zoom value times input axes times zoom sensitivity. Yeah, smooth damp. Is the smooth damp, that's just, I mean, it looks like from the way you wrote that, it's just a built-in function with vector 3, which feels familiar. All right, okay, back to the really slow lerp speed. Okay, let's try 10. To me, that feels good. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's funny. So this map, the tech tree is grabbable, but because the lerp, the lerp's trying to get it back to that initial position. But if we ignore that major flaw, my zooming is feeling, that feels good. Might be a hair fast. But I think that feels pretty good to me. Yeah, I need to look at, like I was saying, the smooth damp, I remember seeing a video on it. And it was being proposed as a better way to do this. So let's take a look at it. Let's see here. Factor 3 smooth damp. Okay, so we got current target, current velocity. It's interesting. Smooth time, max speed. I would need to do a little more research so I understand exactly what all those bits and pieces do. I do remember seeing that, and seeing a pretty good argument that it was a better better way to do it. For now, Lance, I'm gonna make a note of that. I'm gonna come back to that one later because this is giving me the result. This is giving me the feel that I want. Okay, so what we need to do is this target position needs to get updated. Target position X needs to be Nova block transform local position X, and then we need to do the same thing but with Y. And the reason I'm doing that is so that our target position is, we're really only changing our Z value of our target position. And there's probably other ways to do that, but I think that works. Yeah, Lance. Yeah, throw those examples over on the Discord. That'd be useful. I just need to dig into it and see how it all works. All right, let's set those default values to, let's set this to 10. So we have, I do that all the time. Change values in play mode and then forget to change them in edit mode. All right. Okay, good. So now we can drag around, which is good. All right. We also have a little bit of issue here if you watch. So I've got this animation that feels pretty good when you highlight, but if I creep over here towards the next one, you can see there, I haven't changed. I haven't changed which block is highlighted until I get to the middle, and then we'll have the same issue. Well, actually, that side will actually work pretty well, but going these diagonal ones doesn't work very well. And that's just, I had hoped that the Nova guys would give me a solution to that problem, and it's just a hitbox, if you will. The shape of the UI element is rectangular, and so there's a little corner of it here that extends out. If I go out beyond that, it pops over. How big of an issue that is, that's pretty far down my list of problems to solve. But let's stick that. I just started up a new page on my Notion page, so let's add that so we don't forget about it. So hex tiles in tech tree need a better, I'm gonna put it in quotes, collider or hitbox. Great. Okay. Okay, so we've got a tech tree that we can zoom in and out of. We highlight, we get some information. That's great. I don't know if you guys have noticed, every time I've restarted here, the tech tree looks different, which is intentional, but I want it to be using the world seed. So let's look at that next. Let's get that fixed. So let's come in here and edit this tech tree script. And maybe we're just using randoms. We might just be using randoms. It's been a while since I wrote this code, quite a while ago. So let's. Might just have to do a search here. Oh, yep, there's our random range. Okay, so we need to replace any of these randoms with our running out of words already. It's a bad sign. We need to replace it here. So what I've got is I have this static random over on my hex tile manager, which isn't the best place. I need to move that. It's over there because that was the first place I used it with the hex tile generation. And so this is, if you guys aren't familiar with this is a system.random. And as opposed to Unity's random, this lets us use a seed. So in here, you can see, I'm actually using the Unity random to generate a seed. That's funny. But here I'm initializing that random value with that seed. And so what that allows me to do is generate the same world every time. And potentially it could let a player choose their own random value. It means potentially you could, if you get a world you really like, you can send that seed to a friend, whatever. Mostly I've put that in there for testing purposes. Those things I described are reasons to put it in there. But also if you're going to do any sort of procedural work, it's really, really helpful to be able to reproduce the same results over and over again. Otherwise, when you're testing things, you kind of don't know if they're working. So let's edit this in here. And then let's see if we have any more randoms. All right, that might be it. Sweet. Yeah, Lance, so that's the idea. And I don't know if I'm going to stick with that all the way through because there's definitely some pitfalls. But yeah, the tech tree is going to be random. sort of. So let's, I was clicking on the wrong button. Okay, so that is what we look like now. And so Lance, here, just to describe what's going on. So the colored rings around them are kind of their tier. And so it does a sort by tier first. And so what you'll see here is all the whites are close to something that's already unlocked, this headquarters. I need something better, just a placeholder to be the start, but whatever. And then the greens are tier 1s, and then blues are tier 2, and the pink I think is tier 3. And so it will spread out, and that gives me some control so that, I mean, a farm doesn't need to be tier 2 or whatever, but it gives me some control to make sure that you get that, you know, upgrade X isn't just way off over there. It's always, I can make it closer to a starting point. It gives me some control. But I kind of like, I like the idea. We'll see how that goes. But I like the idea of the random tech tree, so that every time you play, you might have to come up with a slightly different strategy. We'll see. It's the theory. It's the theory. Okay, so that's what it looks like. We got a ring around there. I'm gonna just take a quick screenshot of that. Like so. And then let's go in and out of play mode, and we should get the same shape. We shouldn't just get the same shape. We should get the exact same thing with all of the tiles. There we go. Sweet. That's good. That is an easy fix. Hey there. You feel lied to? I went out and in instead of in and out. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but it makes me laugh anyways. Let's see, Lance, of the random class. Yeah, generate a galaxy for the project. Yeah. It's a good one. It is a good, it's a good class. It's really, really helpful for testing this stuff. Okay. Let's turn this back on here a little bit. And let's think about what I want to do here. Just looking at my rendering here. So something I want to do, I want to get this close button to be less horrible. Because right now when I hover over it, it changes color. I don't really like that. And it doesn't go back to default color. So what I want to do, I'm going to get this color here. We're going to stick that in as our default color like that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate those colors like so. And then the hovered color, I'm just going to tweak that a tiny bit. Maybe we'll copy that one again, and then I'm going to tweak that one just a little bit. So we do have some variation there, but our default color will go back to the original color. Actually, maybe let's make that smarter here. So the way Nova works is there's these visuals, and these define how these visuals work. So let's change that. Let's see if we can make that a little bit more smart, because that's a problem for me fairly frequently. Let's see if do we have any sort of, we don't really have. In and out of play mode. Yeah, well, you know, if I can't confuse you guys, how am I supposed to confuse myself? All right, I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm not gonna mess with that for now. I'm not sure. These are not mono behaviors. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna mess with it for right now. Okay. Tech tree works. What I'd like to do is I think I might do, I'm going to take this background color here. I want to match that to my actual game. Let's see, where is my, I want to, so what I want to, I'm thinking I want to match it to. Oh, I turned it on. What I want to match it to is this color here. I think I want to. I'm not sure why I broke that tech tree. That's funny. How did I break that? Oh, it just must be something funny about it being set on during play mode. Anyways, okay. Close button. I still get kind of a highlighty effect. That's nice. That's great. We can probably make that prettier. But we're not going to all white after that. The other thing, what I don't necessarily love is that I can still see my resources here. So what happens if I slide that up? That doesn't really, that's kind of what I was playing with here. Wanted to see, and I think it's coming from this. Maybe it's just that. All right, let's just set our, let's set this to like, why is it because of this sort group? It might be. Screen space depends on that, huh? Does escape close it too? That is a good question. We should definitely make that. I should make that a thing. I find the sort group in Nova to be a little less intuitive. Anyways, escape key. Yeah, let's make that work. Let us make that work. So I've got this window pop up. Class. So let's just fix this. New. We're gonna do base on enable. Looks like I already did that at one point. Let's see if this breaks anything. And we should have a, let's see if that works. If that works, then the escape should work as part of the base class. Well, it turns that off. All right, we're gonna have to funny. All right. We're just gonna have to override the close button or close. I'm gonna grab these. We're gonna stick them down here. I don't need that one, but this one I'm going to have to override. Okay, we're going to override that one. And I don't know if we're going to need to override the open window. Because so the issue is that this code is on the tech tree here. But what we're actually opening and closing is the parent object. So let's put a Nova group on this. I think that'll work okay. And then, so we want to get in parent. So that will work. This is really designed to be toggled off. Let's see if it works. All right, that worked. And escape is not working. All right, let's take a look here. So we are getting in parent. We are getting in parent. We shouldn't be getting that in any. Let's stick that up there. Lance put in code in Discord. You can, if you're just going to put those bits and pieces in that we were talking about, you can just put them in chat. That's totally fine. I mean, what I really should be doing with this is refactoring this a bit so that the tech tree is not here. The code's not here, that it's actually on the parent, and we're just populating this. That would be a smarter way to do that. Yeah, because we're closing that. Okay, so let's do that. A small suggestion is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I think it's a good thing to do. Wait a minute. Let's take a look at. I've actually already got it set up that way. So I've already got this. Because we're already setting it to the background. Okay, let's just Let's get out of debug mode here for a minute. We're going to copy this component. I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to paste it here. Like that. And then what we need to do, okay, so then we got to come back here to our close window. In this case, now we don't need to override these because we're behaving normally. Let's see if that works. All right. So it opens up, it behaves normally, closes, behaves normally. Can I? Okay, so opening, the button's not working correctly. That's okay. I can open it with my inspector windows here. Or inspector windows, my inspector buttons. Okay, so let's see if, will it behave if I turn it on? The alpha down. Let's just see if that works. I really like having the base class have those the buttons on there. It just makes it for an easy functionality. So here's the problem: if it's not started, yeah, it doesn't get turned on for some reason. It breaks. Okay, so let's look at our button. Let's go figure out where our button is. Here's our button. Open tech tree button. Okay, it just sets the game object active. That's all it's doing. Why is that? All right, we'll just leave that on there for now. Okay, why does let's not do that. That could be, no, that's not going to be the issue. Why does turning the object on at runtime, during runtime, different than turning it on at the very beginning? There's no awake function. Again, it's been a while since I wrote this code, so. Let's get rid of all this garbage because we don't need that anymore. All of this to make the escape button work. The funny part is, right, I had this window pop-up class that handles all this. It's just that I made the tech tree before I implemented that class. And so we're kind of reverting here, trying to make it all work nicely. All right, that's all that's doing. That's just assigning that. That's fine. Is there something else on here? There's all my upgrades. I don't know why I would want that to be. I think I just want to get that. Let's see here. Question there. How long have I been working on this game? This game has been basically almost a year now-ish. Why the hell won't that? And there it goes. Now it's totally fine. My upgrades are all there. The list is just fine. It did weirdness. Sorry. So basically, essentially, I've been working on it for a year. Let's just do a quick deep. We'll put a breakpoint in here. I don't understand why. There's some delay somewhere and I'm not understanding, or I've forgotten where it is. So yeah, this game's been going for about a year. I would say the first 2 or 3 months of that was doing a fair amount of work with the hex tiles, building up a library, so to speak, to make that whole system work. And then after that, I ended up quit my job, moved, and started a new career. So there was at least 2 or 3 months there where I didn't get a lot of work done, but it's been a year. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so we went and got our. We're gonna go create our tree here. So I've got 7 upgrades. I kind of want to see, like, why am I not? Am I throwing an error somewhere? I am. Okay. I don't know why I didn't see that error. Okay, we are. Let's check out our error here. Yeah, you know, you always hope that in a you know, that you make more progress than you do. But my honest guess, I think, you know, maybe the follow-up question there is like, how long do I think it's going to take me? My guess is I've got another. I keep saying I'd love to get a trailer out in the next 3 or 4 months. It might be 6. I think I said 6 around December. I'm hoping it's 3 or 4 months. I figure about 6 months to maybe get a trailer out or be in a position to feel like I can build a trailer. There's a lot of little things that need to happen before that. The other piece is, and then maybe like an early access release in another year. We'll just trying to be realistic. So what's happening here is we are getting our locations are coming through here. This is, we're not getting the locations here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Moving is rough. Moving is rough. Definitely slows things down, and I think that's just part of like. I think it's really important to remember that like reality gets in the way, right? You can get sick. Somebody else can get sick. Like you can move, change your careers. Who knows what can happen? And it's just something you just kind of have to take with us with the swing of things. I gotta know though, where in Italy did you move? I lived in Milan for 4 years. I do not speak Italian. I miss that place dearly though. I'm thinking this locations list is coming in. No. Okay. So locations is not coming in null here. We've got 6, and so what? Is it this random that's not initialized? Wait, it's initialized in an awake. Okay. Well, we're drilling down a little bit more here. You got robbed in Milan. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. That doesn't. I mean, the South for us, the South is always known as the more dangerous spot. But man, I mean, Milan had some rough places. It had some rough places. I'm trying to remember if any of my friends got. I mean, there were certainly people breaking into apartments. That was a major concern in Milan. There was some major concern there. Yeah. Ooh, you lost your laptop and drives. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. All right, let's see here. Yeah, okay, so my the random value is null. Why is that null? That should not be. I mean, it kind of can't be null because I'm already. How can it be null? Okay, so we hadn't generated our tiles yet. But how can that be null? It's getting initialized in an awake. My check tree is doing stuff on enable, which is after awake. At least we know what's going on. I'm not sure why. Hey Lance, thanks. I'll take a look at him. I'll take a look at him this evening. Yeah, Italy is an interesting place. It is an interesting place. Miss that place though. I really do. Milan, we used to say Milan was a great city to leave. It was central, really easy to get to other parts of Europe. Pretty easy to get down to the coast. I loved going down to Finale on the coast. Loved going mountain biking there. Still pretty easy to get to Florence and Rome as well. The city itself was, you know, hit or miss. Why the hell is this thing null? That's all I want to know. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Part of I don't like that this is fully public. I don't like that. What I would much rather have is, yeah, here, get random, get next int. So I did these things. So what we're gonna do is do if random equals null, then like this, then we're going to initialize it. So we're gonna basically, I'm gonna try isolating this thing. I just don't know why. I don't know why it's null, which bothers me actually quite a bit. All right, we're just gonna do like that, and then I kind of don't even like this, that I'm actually, you know, getting a Visual Studio is just being weird. That is not an issue. Okay, so I don't want to like make that not public right now because it's going to break all kinds of other things. But what I would like to do is we're going to do get next int. We're just going to replace that with this function here. Okay. Let's see if that fixes it. This is hilarious. This is all, I just try to make the escape button work. But this is great because we're tracking down a bug, and we're going to make our code a little bit more robust. There we go. Well, our background didn't turn on, but woo, and we zoom in both places. That's nausea inducing. I should probably make it so that they zoom in the same direction. There we go. Hey, Thomas. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Again, if folks have questions, if you're new to the stream about what I'm doing, feel free to ask. If you got questions about a video or your own project, always happy to answer those questions as well. I kind of don't like this function at all. I want to get, I kind of want to replace all these. I'm just gonna try to go through here quickly and replace a lot of these things. I just like, it's that idea of I don't need, oh, I'm not saving these things either. I just don't want, I don't want everybody having their fingers on that random. Like I want it to be static. I want it to sit there. I don't want, there's still 2 references to it. So let's see where those are. Okay, this one can change. That's easy to change. It's this one. I'm not entirely sure why we're feeding in resource to generate. That's just garbage. No, we're just going to change that. Textile manager, get next int like that. We're going to get rid of that. You don't need to bring that in. There we go. Okay. So we should no longer have any references to that at all. So we're getting rid of that. Awesome. While I'm doing this, let's do the same thing here with this random. Oh, that's ugly. I use it. Well, okay. It's just used in so many places. So we're going to I feel like if I was smart, I would think about a better way to do this. Like, use the search and replace functionality. That would be smart. Why do it that way when we can do it this way, which is so much fun? Oh, I'm actually replacing it inside of my get next int random. Okay, these are internal, these are inside this class, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, let's look at those again, see if we get any more references. I would love just to make this, all right, all those are internal references, so we can now make this private. Let's see, GM Universe, will there be new tutorials about Odin Spectre? If I recall correctly, you made their shorts, right? Yep. I made all their videos for the last 3 years or so. We are working on the next video that's going to come out. I got to put it together this weekend. It's already recorded and what have you, just needs to get edited. Is going to be on attribute expressions, which is, I don't think, a super simple topic, but pretty powerful thing. I'm certainly not an expert at it, but yeah, that'll be out probably, hopefully early next week. And then we've got the next video idea in the pipeline after that to look at the concept of serialization as a whole. That's going to take us a while to put together because that's a pretty technical topic. So I'm going to need some help with it. And we really want to make sure we get the details of that really correct. So yeah, those are what Odin wise, that's what's coming up next. But we're always looking for ideas. So if you got a tutorial you'd like to see with Odin, let me know or get on their Discord and let those guys know. We're always looking for ideas. Lance, you're funny. Let's see. Any plans on making a detailed video on hierarchical FSMs? Probably not. I made a video on FSMs on the state pattern a while ago, a couple of years ago. And to be honest, I'm not using state machines in my own work. If I had a big need for a state machine, I'd probably get rolling on some new videos. Frankly, a lot of the videos that I make are about stuff that I'm doing in my own projects or stuff that I want to learn about. So that's a long answer to no. Nope. Not in the immediate future. All right, let's see if we broke anything. All right. Our map works. We need to get our button working. And other pieces of our tech tree are not showing up, but I can turn it on and off. Okay. So let's change. We're going to change what this button does. It's going to go to open window. All right. And all right, let's figure out what is going on here. All right, we're not interactable. So if we close that and, oh, okay. There we go. So we're just having an issue with opening and closing. Ooh, we did all this work just to get the escape button working, but I like that fade in and out. That it's a little slow, but that feels nice. We need to get that. We need to make some other cosmetic adjustments here. You also notice that we're now getting a different tech tree, which is because I changed. I probably, in all that refactoring, I've likely changed the order of something, and so now we're just getting when we're getting to generating the tech tree, we're just in a different place on that random. You haven't seen any good reference to integrate Steam input in Unity. Yeah, I mean, what's frustrating to me about some of the stuff with Steamworks and what have you, it very much to me feels like, or it can feel like kind of like an old boys club and what have you, of like, well, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, we're not going to tell you. All right. Not entirely sure why we are. Okay, if I turn off that sort group, okay, that works. Okay. Okay, we need to change what our close button does too. So right now, our close button is actually turning the game object off. Instead, we need to call close window. Sweet. Wow, that is really... Okay. That's all working cool. You know what I want to do? I've got about half an hour left here. So let's do something a little bit. I know I was talking about doing some visual changes to the tech tree. I can feel myself losing a little bit of steam here, and that kind of I can get a little fiddly. I can get a little fiddly. And right now I don't have a great vision for exactly what I want to do with that tech tree. So let's set that aside for just a minute. Maybe we'll come back to it. What I want to do here is, so I have speaking of Odin Inspector tutorials, what I've got here is like this upgrade creator. So this is actually not very fancy. Wow, something about Unity is not happy. But anyways, what this is it basically just allows me a quick and easy way to create the upgrades, which are scriptable objects. So I wanted something that was quicker. So for example, I could say, well, let's not name it for right now. We'll give it a cost. All the cost is research. So maybe we'll say this is like 250. And what we're going to do, let's make this a little bit bigger. We're going to find some units to upgrade. So let's say, I don't know, we can upgrade our Marines. So we're going to upgrade our Marines, and then our unit, our apply upgrade. So what I can do is then give it 10 more hit points, like so. And then what's kind of fun is I should be able to hit generate name. Yeah, we've got something that's not happy. It should be giving me a nice name. Maybe we need to go fix that. Maybe we need to fix that. But basically, it just allows me to do this quickly. So what I can do is Marines plus 10 HP. It's supposed to name it like that. And give it a description. Add 10 HP. 10 HP to all Marines. Okay, and I can press save. It saves the scriptable object and loads up another one. So I can do this quickly without having to do a bunch of left and right clicking in the project folders and going to my inspector and back and forth. Let's see if I can find that. And then here, so then here's the scriptable object itself. So we should fix the generate name and get that working, because it's just easy. Or makes life easier. What I wanted to do is create a similar window for my building unlock upgrades, which is also part of my tech tree. But let's first take a look at the code here. So this is stats upgrade. And if you've never made your own, let's get rid of all this stuff. If you've never had to make your own editor window, it can be a royal pain in the ass. And if you do it with Odin, it's pretty much the same as creating a mono behavior. It's much, much easier. Oh, I didn't save my path. That might have actually been the issue. Let's just oh no, it's already there. It's there. It's there. Okay. Let's look at our generate name. Replace stats plus minus. Actually, that really should have worked. Okay, I don't know. Hey Legion, thanks for joining again. Said this earlier, it's very fun to see folks coming back week after week. Very cool. So what I'm going to do, I don't know. Something's grumpy right now. I've mentioned this in previous streams. Something happens with the scene view, get some sort of memory leak or whatever. We're just going to kind of work around it for right now. But what I'm going to do is take this class here, and I'm just going to duplicate it. Hopefully. Yep, you can see Windows is pretty grumpy, or Unity is pretty grumpy. We're going to call this unit unlock upgrade window. Okay. I'm going to grab that name. We're going to open it up. We're going to have all kinds of errors because I just duplicated, but that's okay. We're going to rename the class like this. Okay. are we cannot implicitly stats upgrade? Okay, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna rename this unlock unit upgrade creator. It's a beautiful name. And then you can see, so again, if you've never had to create your own custom editor window, they really are a pain to do. But with Odin, it really is just a matter of changing the class that you inherit from and then adding this open window function here so that there's some way to open it up. And then everything else down below it is just works pretty much just like a mono behavior with Odin attributes. So I'm just going to change a few things here. We're going to do, well, actually, let me show you. Let me show what I'm doing here. So here's the stats upgrade one. And if I come up here, I should have a unit unlock upgrade. But it looks pretty much, well, it looks different because it doesn't have an upgrade in there. Let's grab a path for that. And we're going to grab a path to, I didn't know this. I found generating paths in Unity, it just like doesn't work with my brain very well, but you can copy the path out of the project files. Didn't know that for a really long time. Okay. So if I look at this now, if I push new upgrade, you can see these two windows look almost identical. In fact, they are identical because I've just copied them. And again, if you've never created a custom editor window, it is just a pain in the ass because you have to change each field. You got to build the whole thing yourself. But again, with Odin, it's going to be pretty easy to do this. So what I'm going to do is come in here. I'm going to change this to, what is it? Unit unlock upgrade. So I'm just going to change the type of it like that. And if I do that, I just changed the type. I might have an issue here with, we might get an error here. Oh, no, we still, oh, well, our button is still doing the wrong thing. Okay. All right. That wasn't quite as cool as I expected it to be. Let's go down here and change these things. So we got to change the types here. We have all these errors anyways. Okay, so we got to change the, when we press, so this is the function that gets called when we press new upgrade. And then the generate name is, that's going to be broken. We're going to have to come back to that in a minute. Now, if we go back in here and we open that up, we do a new upgrade. All right, it's still, why are we, oh, because we still have errors in here. Okay, now it'll recompile and we should get our changes. I wanted to make it look so slick, and then here I am fumbling on stupid things. All right, come on. There we go. Okay, so it definitely looks similar because it's being formatted by Odin. But what I've got in here now is on the window on the left, I've got a stats upgrade, and on the right, I've got a unit unlock upgrade. Again, if you've never had to make a custom editor window with Unity's tools, that may not look very impressive, but man, it's so much nicer to work this way. All right, so let's work on the generate name. So what we're going to do here is we just want to kind of, we want to fill it in a little bit. Make it a little bit easier so that it can do this automatically for us. And what we're going to do, we're going to grab the buildings to unlock. So what we're going to do here is we're going to first put in unlock and a space. And then we're going to grab name plus equals upgrade buildings to unlock to string. On the stats window, we got a little bit more clever with it. Maybe we'll come back here and make it a little bit more clever. But so what we can do now is we can assign a cost. So we can assign a cost, let's say 250. We're going to show it in the tech tree. That's that button. Unlocked at start, maybe. The upgrade tier. So let's put in here, we can find a building to unlock. And what do we want to unlock? I'm trying to think here. So what is a reasonable one to put in next? It's something I haven't actually thought through too much. Is the order of the buildings, something that I just need to work through. But for example, what I can put in here is we can add in some housing, and we're going to make that tier 1. So it's going to be a little bit further out in our tech tree. I can save that. Hopefully that all works correctly. Oops, we didn't actually generate a name, did we? Let's see if we actually. Yep, actually it did it for us. Unlock the housing. So it named it for us when we saved. Cool. And really, I kind of just need this to happen for every unit. So let's do, let's put a gas refinery in there. Gas refinery, that's going to be like tier 2. And let's actually, when we're generating the name, let's actually do our description too. Let's see, where are we generating our name? Okay, so let's put that in here. Upgrade description equals generate description. This is, oh, it will not let me. I think we can just make it public. Okay. And I'm all about just making things easier. Unlocks. And we're just going to do the same dang thing here. Oops. Stick some curly braces around that. For now, we're just going to return that. Okay. Probably doesn't need to be an assignment like that, but that's nice. Okay, so unlock our gas refinery. We can generate name if we really want to. Looks like it gets a little grumpy about that. We're going to save that. And there's our unlock gas refinery. So one of the things we do need to do is, and I've done this somewhere, I need to make these a little bit more human readable, because right now it's taking that that enum, turning it into a string, and we get this kind of, I mean, it's readable, but it's not very pretty. And you can see there we've our description gets generated as well. So let me see if I can remember where I have done this. I was ready for this. Enum step helper. Let's see if it's in my helper functions. I don't think it is. I think I put it. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I have, you know, enums are awesome, right? Enums do a lot of good stuff for us. They make our code a little bit more readable in a lot of ways. They can simplify some of our code. They can also cause some problems, but I'm using a bunch of them, and I don't think I've got into the problem area, but I do want to be able to do this nice string. So I want to be able to take that enum and turn it into what I call a nice string that's nice and looks nice to the player. And so that's what I've done here. These are extension functions. If you don't know extension functions, they're awesome. I made a video on them. It was really not a popular video. I thought it was a pretty good video. Whatever. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take in a enum type, and then using an admittedly ugly switch statement, we're going to return a nice string. Hey there, thanks for joining. Hey Legion, sorry, I kind of missed your question. The dev work is going well. Slow, but well. Okay. So what we're going to do here, to create an extension function, it's got to be in a static class. The function's got to be static itself. We're just going to call this, to keep calling these to nice strings. And what I'm going to take in here is let me make sure I get the right type. We're going to take in a player unit like so. Value. Okay, what is that? It's in this namespace. And then here we're going to do switch value. Yowzers. Yeah. I forgot how many different types of buildings I had. So what we can do here is something like this. So if we send in this type of, actually, let's do this a little bit nicer. Like that. Okay, we'll do that. And then what we're going to do down here is we're going to return nice name. So with this, it's tedious, but what I can do, let's do it this way. Let's be smart here. So what I'm going to do here is go say if nice, we're going to do if string is null or empty, nice name, return value to string. Make it empty. Okay. So what we're going to basically, that just gives us a default value so that I don't have to right now type in all of these right now. But for example, here's my gas refinery. I can do gas refinery like that, and I can get a nice name for it. Back in my window, instead of calling toString, I call toNiceString like that. And same here. And that's what the extension function does, because this type right here is that enum. And then this is an extension function of that type. I like it. Let's see, question here. Don't know how to code, but I just ask so to make HTML code for a clicker game, and it does it. Just paste it into Google Sites, and I have a clicker game. All right, sounds cool. Guess not I don't know if there was a question there. If there's a question there, let me know. Okay, that works. All right, let's see if that works. So let's delete that upgrade we just created. And what we're going to do, we're going to unlock and we're going to go to our gas refinery. We're going to save that. And there you go. So that long-winded explanation, that's how I get that. Now I can get a nice string out of there. So we get gas refinery. So it's going to look better. I can also use that in other places in terms of, say, the UI, where I might be pulling information off of a scriptable object and the data has got an enum. So now I can just call toNiceString and I can convert that enum, which may or may not look good, to a value that I know is going to look good. The other thing I really like about this, well, yeah, that doesn't really matter. Okay. I mean, let's see. Okay, so let's stack those together. I'm gonna move them off the screen. And we should end up here with our new, let's just fix this, housing. This should show up now in our tech tree. It makes no sense to you, but you're fascinated. Yeah, you just got to put in the time. You just got to put in the time to try to understand what's going on. And okay, we need to make that so that works better. But let's open that up. So there's our gas refinery. Looks like I need to up its tier. It's a tier 0. And then our housing is here. Our housing is tier 1, so it's up there. Cool. Which again, I like this system of I just create the scriptable object and my tech tree goes out and finds it. So let's change that gas refinery. Maybe we'll make that tier 2. But yeah, if you know you're trying to learn how to code and do all this stuff, you just gotta put in the time and just gotta put in the time. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay, so there's our gas refinery because it's tier 2, so it's now out here. It's also got a blue ring around it, which is great. Cool. Rune magic of the modern day, but it works usually, most of the time, some of the time. Oh, the other thing we could do here, so we've got the description showing up down there, but we don't have it for this unlock, building unlock. Yeah, visual coding, yeah. Visual coding is definitely programming, 100%. 100%. You still got to do a lot of the thinking, but it does lower the barrier, make it a little bit easier to get into. Okay, I like what we're getting here. So what I'd like to do next is, I mean, I don't know that I really need. So you can see down the bottom left here, I've got this description coming in. This was also on my to-do list today. And for these stat upgrades where we're changing the stats of one of our units, you can see we've got a pretty good description going on there. Looks like we've got some issues with icons, but there's no description for the unlock one. Oh, I know why we're getting, maybe I know why we're having that issue. Okay. So what I want to do is put a description down there for the unit unlock upgrades. So let's do that in here. All right, well, we don't need that. Okay. So what we've got here, pretty simple. We've got a public static class here that gets fed in the upgrade. We basically check its type and then populate the information after that. So we should be able to do something pretty similar here. Let's just take a look at, so with the stats upgrade, we grab the upgrade, we convert it to this type, or we, not convert it, we cast it to that type. All right, when we're changing our text here, that's great. And then so we're getting stats, getting cost. Okay, so really all we need to do here is all we need to do is that. Well, that's not true. What we need to do is unit unlock upgrade. Ugh, I love it when it just does the thing. So let's go to get cost here. And if upgrade cost, actually, let's go look at this here. So what I'm thinking about here is if we've already purchased if we already purchased it, we don't need to show the cost. Or maybe we can. And this is the wrote a TextMesh Pro helper class to display my icons for me. I actually wrote a bunch of helper functions for those kinds of things, to change the color and the size. That way I don't have to put in the rich tags myself. It might be that easy. Let's do one thing here. We'll check here. If upgrade cost equals 0, return. We're gonna return nothing. Why are you objecting? Okay, cost amount. Okay. Actually, let's not put it there. That's just asking for extra issues. So we're going to put it here. If upgrade cost amount is greater than 0, we're going to add that in there. Now let's put this in here as well. Oh no, okay, wait. I don't want to do that. All right. I don't want to do that. Let's just see if that works. I think that may be all I need to do here. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Hey, Money Plush, how long is this going to take me? The whole game? I mean, I don't get a whole lot of hours actually to work on it, to be honest. Why shouldn't be a different tech tree. I don't like the tech tree is different. I've been working on this project for about a year, and my guess is I'm probably another year away from a release. There we go. Okay. So now we're showing our costs down there. That's great. I don't know why that one. That's weird. I don't know why that one always, I'm pointing to my monitor, super useful. Why the cost doesn't bring up the right icon in that case. There's a couple of them that don't do that. And they all have 3 lines. Interesting. Well, if you think I'm a big YouTuber, I'll take that as a compliment. All right, let's see. All right, we shouldn't have got, I feel like this is a new shape for our tech tree here, which we shouldn't be getting. I also want to undo some of these things. Okay, because we really should only have that one thing unlocked at start. But yeah, this project is, probably should have made a smaller project. You know, you always think you're going to have more time than you do. Whoa. Oh, that was weird. Oh, it's not setting the opacity. Oh, son of a. I know what the issue is. You always think you're going to have more time than you do. But yeah, my guess is this is probably a 2-year project for me. 2-year project to get early access and be able to put this out on Steam and then fix the bugs. Could be another, you know, who knows how long. Hopefully if I build it right, the bugs are easy to fix and not too many. And if it sells as many copies as my last game, there won't be anybody to report bugs, so it'll be really easy. Oh, balls, I know what's going on. See, they all, oh, it's the opening and closing that's doing it. Anyways, okay, so that's what our menu looks like now. Okay, so we broke something because we're generating a new tech tree all the time. All right, we need to fix that, and then we're gonna be done for the day. This hasn't been a super focused stream. I'm pretty sure I know where this is. What this is causing issues. I mean, I'll take the compliment on the 26. Yeah, I mean, 26,000 subscribers isn't tiny, but I'll tell you, man, you know, it's I don't know. It's a complicated topic. Okay. What I don't want to, okay, we need to stop randomizing this. We need to use, that is our problem, I think. let's make this static, and we're going to show in inspector. I think I need both on a static field. Let's make sure that that's going to work that way. Yeah, okay, let's see. We'll just put a number there. So that's a random seed. Why you even have to? Yeah, sometimes, well, there's bots out there. I mean, one of the funny things, if you get a slightly bigger channel, you'll watch your subscriber count doing whatever it does, and like right now my channel is growing very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. You'll see it'll go along, and then all of a sudden it'll plummet, and sometimes you even get a negative day. My channel, it only gets 10 or 15 new subscribers a day or something, but all of a sudden it'll like plummet, and you have like -5, and that's just like YouTube cleaning up various bots and old accounts and what have you. All right, let's do this a little bit, because yeah, that's not going to serialize. That's not going to be. What I want to do, we're going to make this where it's not going to be static. How do I want to do this? I need to be able to grab that random seed here is what I really need. So well, let's just do it. Oh, nope. We'll do it like that. That'll work. Yeah, maybe you're all bots. Getting smarter. All right, let's see if this works, and then we're gonna call it quits, because I think I'm getting a little loopy. I need to come up with a good plan for our next stream, so I got something very concrete to work on. It's hard. I really look forward to these days, but they sneak up on me. All right, that's what it looks like. Let's take a picture of it. Boop. Like that. We'll fix the transparency issue. I know what that's all about. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to fix it, but I know what the cause of it is. All right. And there we go. Okay. So same tree. We're back to generating the same tree, which is good. We made that change earlier in the stream, and then I refactored, and I broke it a little bit. You only spawn at night and attack bosses bases. You're funny. All right, let's do one other thing here. We're going to add that in there. So we're not going to recreate. For some reason, there's some sort of race condition there, if folks were watching earlier, where this random is null and it unexpectedly is null. But I just want to make sure we're not initializing it twice, and we just want to make sure we have really predictable results. So I think that is all good. Your comments keep getting... you're retracted. Let's make this thing stop appearing. Where's my tech tree? All right, tech tree is going to do all of its thing, and then we're going to close the window like so. Let's make sure that when we start Unity or we start the game, the tech tree is not showing overlaid like that. Okay, good. It's not there. That's great. Click on it. It's open. We should probably change how zoomed in we are. That's great. We can... I'm curious why that cost is showing up like that. That's a little strange. Okay, besides the highlighting issue, this is good. We haven't made a lot of visible progress, but our tech tree is now a lot more functional. It's a lot more functional. It looks better. We've got a little bit more information. And it's at least now it works. I don't necessarily think this is the final format. I think it needs a lot more going on. It needs some more visual work. But I think this is a good start. It would be cool for these unlock upgrades. So when we unlock a building, say for like our gas refinery here, it'd be cool if maybe up on we had a picture of it, so we tell the player what's going on. That would be kind of a cool addition too. But that also means I need to go get pictures of those things, and that can be a lot of work. And that's where I think, in all honesty, that's why I think I'm a year out from having like an early access release, because all those little bits and pieces need to happen. I need to get those images, got to put them in there, got to build the mechanics for that. I think I'm getting closer and closer to just needing to create content, in the sense of needing to create those images and tweak settings on scriptable objects and create scriptable objects and create upgrades. Like, I think I could sit here for 2 or 3 hours and just create upgrades to flesh out this tree. Because basically every unit can have its stats upgraded potentially multiple times. Each one of those is an upgrade. And then I think it comes to some balancing. And then, you know, right, you got to come down and then like balance the game and get the order set right. All right, let's see where we're at. So we got our world, we got our headquarters. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to fix. I want to get so that these Marines don't get placed. They only get placed on grass and certain things. Okay, so we're spawning. That's great. Here's a solar panel. If you guys missed the early stream, I did work on a new solar panel model. I still need to get them so they all face the same direction. It's a little silly looking as is. It should be an easy piece of code. Got our farm and what have you. I don't know. I really like the solar panels. I feel like they came out pretty good. The other thing I want to do, you can see this in the farm. You can see this little hexagon pad here, and we've got another one over here on the solar panels. I want to adjust it so that the shuttles land on that location. That's going to be the shuttle pad. Which again, I don't think is a particularly complex addition, but it's going to take a little bit of work. Wait for our bad guys to come. Okay, I feel like we're in a good place. I may have to next stream just kind of work on some modeling. Like this headquarters really needs to get replaced. I really need that's a big step in, and the mine. The mine right now, because I think these are the buildings that I think that we're starting with. These are going to be the initial buildings. The tower looks fine. The tower looks fine, but the mine and the headquarters we need a better model for them. And I think if I can get those pieces in place and maybe a few tweaks here with my enemies and what have you, well, we need to work on the particle effects and get that so it doesn't just totally suck. It might not actually be that far away from like a teaser video. And that would be huge to be able to get a teaser video out. If I can get a 30-second video put together with some of the content, then I can open up a Steam page, and that would be huge. So maybe that's what we'll do next time. Is work on some modeling of those two buildings, because then we're pretty good to go. Because I'm gonna hide all the UI for the teaser. I need to work on my procedural generation a little bit so that these initial islands, maybe make sure they have some mountains and some trees. That'll definitely look better. I think when the enemy spawns here, we're putting too much grass. You can see it generates a few trees, but not much. The marine, I like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. The Marines just poking out of the of the headquarters. The thing that makes me nervous about the whole, and if you're wondering why I'm hesitating, what makes me nervous about the Steam page is that once you see where our next there's our next once you create a Steam page, and once that page is public, all of the artwork for that gets scraped by all kinds of bots. It gets scraped and it exists out on the internet forever. Kind of serious. It gets out there and it's out there forever. It just sticks and it sticks out there. And it doesn't really matter if you replace it. All the scraped data pretty much stays out there for a long time. I was just looking up my first game. I didn't know that. My first game, I put out some like really basic like pre-alpha artwork, and it just got scraped and was put all over the place. How much that really matters, I don't know, but I do want when people, if they go search my game, that they get up-to-date pictures. I don't know, I'm rambling. I'm gonna let this next group come in. Then I said we'd always send off a little ICBM. How's that? We'll send off a little ICBM. Missile silo. Let's see if we can time. Can we time that? I don't. Oh, that's too close. The ICBMs have a minimum range, so we can't shoot that close. Anyways, I'm gonna call it quits for now. I appreciate all those you guys who've stayed around, hung out, chatted. It's definitely a little bit of a disorganized stream. I felt a little ADD. But anyways, we'll be back on next Thursday. I'm hoping to get a video out on my channel this weekend too. We'll see if that happens. But anyways, I will see you guys on Thursday. We'll be back same time. And I think I'm going to do some modeling. So if that's of any interest to do some modeling, I'm going to do my best to try to build at least, I'd really like to do the headquarters. I'd love to get, I've been procrastinating on that one because it's such an important building. But I think that's what I'm going to do next week. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys hopefully next week.